Hi there students, welcome back to another video lesson. So this will be our last video lesson for Grade 10 Mathematics Quarter 3. So we will be discussing word problems involving probability of independent and dependent events. So yung ibang mga word problems involving probability na i-discuss na po yan doon sa mga naunang mga video lesson. So dito, ang focus lang po natin is yung probability of independent and dependent events. So kung paano nagkakaiba yung dalawa na yan. So for the lesson objectives, we will define and illustrate independent and dependent events. So before we proceed to getting the probability of these events, of course, we will first define them and illustrate. And then after illustrating, so we will now be solving word problems involving probability of independent and dependent events. So before we proceed to our main discussion, let us have a short activity. So the instruction of the activity is to state whether the result of the first event affects the result of the second event. Okay, so merong dalawang events na nakalagay dyan. And then, we will just classify whether yung resulta ng unang event ay makakaapekto doon sa resulta ng pangalawang event or hindi. So, let's have example number 1. So, reviewing the lessons and then getting a perfect score on the exam. Okay, so yung first event natin dito is reviewing the lessons. And then second event is getting a perfect score on the exam. So yung result pa ng first event natin ay nakaka-apekto sa result ng second event. Yes. Yes po. It's because if a student is reviewing or studying his or her lessons, definitely there is a higher chance that he or she will get a perfect score on the exam. That is why, yes po yan. Nakaka-apekto po yung resulta ng first event dun sa second event. So for example number 2, throwing a die, drawing a card from a standard deck. Okay, so yung ating first event is throwing a die. And then the second one is drawing a card from a standard deck. So, yung pag-throw po ng die, tsaka yung pagbunot ng isang baraha then sa standard deck ng 52 cards ay magkaiba. So, ibig sabihin po, hindi po nakaka-apekto yung result ng pag-draw natin ng die throw ng die dun sa pag-draw or pagbunot natin ng card dun sa deck. Okay. Next, number 3, playing mobile games. And then studying and answering the learning modules. Okay. So, yung first event natin is playing mobile games. And then our second event is studying and answering the learning modules. So, nakaka-apekto ba yung paglalaro, yung result ng paglalaro natin ng mobile games doon sa pagsagot or pag-aaral natin ng mga learning modules? The answer is yes, definitely. So, kung nakafocus lang po ang mga students, kayong mga students sa paglalaro ng mga mobile games like Mobile Legends, ayan. So, nababawasan or maaring hindi ninyo nabibigyan ng oras yung pag-aaral at pagsasagot ng mga modules na kailangan nating sagutan. So, yes po ang ating sagot. So, example number 4, eating too much sugary foods, getting enough sleep. So, our first event, eating too much sugary foods. Ito po yung mga pagkain na matatamis. And then, second event will be getting enough sleep. So, yung result pa ng first event, nakaka-apekto ba sa result ng second event? The answer is yes. So, kapag ang tao, base sa pag-aaral daw, so, kapag mahilig siya sa mga matatamis na pagkain, sa mga sugary foods, nakakaapekto po yun sa ating pagtulog. It's because, since nagkikrave tayo dun sa mga sugary foods na yun, yung mga sweet foods na yun, so, imbis na matulog tayo, imbis na itulog natin yun, so, hinahanap ng ating katawan yung pagkain ng ganitong mga pagkain. So, that is why nakakaapekto yun sa pagkakaroon ng tamang oras or sapat na oras ng ating pagtulog. So for example number 5, getting a tail on the first coin, head on the second coin. Okay. So for the first event, getting a tail on the first coin, head on the second coin. So yung result ba ng first toss ng coin, nakaka-affect ba sa result ng pag-toss ng second coin? Okay, so the answer is no. Okay, it's because kapag nag-toss tayo ng coin at lumitaw ay tail, it doesn't necessarily mean na head na ang kasunod niya. Pwede pa rin po naman maging tail. Okay, so the answer is no. So let us now discuss independent events. Tapos yung dependent events para makikita nyo kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng dalawang events na yan. So, two events are said to be independent if the first event does not affect the probability of the second. Okay, so ang tawag dun sa mga events na kung saan hindi naman nakakaapekto yung magiging outcome ng pangalawa or pangatlo pang mga events ay independent events yan. Okay, so if two events A and B are independent, then the probability of both events occurring is the product of the probability of A and probability of B. Okay. So, since dalawang events yan, at independent sila, para makukuha natin yung probability ng events na yan, independent events, we'll just simply multiply the product of the probability of A and probability of B. So, para mas maintindihan nyo yan, ayan, that is, probability of A and B is equal to probability of A times probability of B. Okay, so diba, dun sa discussion natin, dun sa mutually exclusive events, so nagamit natin dun yung conjunction na or, wherein it denotes addition. So, dito naman, ginagamit natin yung and para i-indicate na yung operation ay multiplication. Okay, so probability ng A, multiply lang sa probability ng B. So let's have an example problem. In a jar, there are 6 violet balls, 5 orange balls, and 4 pink balls. A ball is drawn, replaced, and a second ball is randomly selected. Find the probability of the following events. So, sa isang jar, sa isang lalagyan, merong 6 na violet balls, 5 orange, tsaka 4 na balls. And then, isa-isa ang pagbunot ng bola. And then, a ball is drawn. Sabi niya, meron dito naka-indicate yung word na replace. Ibig sabihin, kapag binunot natin yung unang bola, so, kung ano man ang lumitaw doon, pagkabunot natin, babaliktad natin yon at bubunot tayo ng pangalawa. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po nababawasan yung laman ng jar na yon. Like, for example, ayan, kung i-add natin yung 6, 5, tsaka 4, ang total number of balls in that jar is 15. So, kung bumunot tayo ng isa, binalik natin yon, 15 pa rin. Pero kapag sinabi niya without replacement, bumunot tayo ng isang bola, hindi na natin isasauli ang binunot nating una, hindi na po 15 yung total number of balls in a jar. That is equal to 14 na. Kasi hindi na natin sinuli yung isa. So in this case, binunot natin and then isosoli natin, tsaka tayo bumunot ng pangalawa. Now, let us answer the following events, the probability of the following events. The probability of getting two violet balls, or the probability that two violet balls are drawn. Ayan, paano ba natin yan sasagutin? So, on the first ball, 6/15, di ba? Ayan, so 6 violet balls, yung total. Next, bumunot tayo ng isang, halimbawa, violet ngayon lumitaw. Pagkabunot natin, sinoli natin yung ating nabunot. So, ibig sabihin, 6 pa rin po yung violet balls. At 15 pa rin po yung laman ng jar. So, the second draw, 6/15 pa rin. Now, solve natin yan. So, pwede nating i-simplify yung 6/6 and 15. So, ang GCF ay 3. So, 6 will become 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3, that is 5. Same way, dito sa kabila, 2/5 din. So, multiply natin 2/5 times 2/5. Our answer will be 4/25. So, what is this? This is the probability that two violet balls are drawn. So, for letter B, so find the probability of getting an orange ball on the first draw and then violet ball on the second draw. So, una muna, yung probability ng orange ball, that is 5/15. So, ayan. Total number of orange ball, 5. And then violet ball, 6. So, since kada bunot natin ng bola, isasauli natin bago tayo bumunot ng pangalawa. So, for the next draw, second ball, 15 pa rin po ang kanyang laman. Now, simplify natin yan. So, 5 tsaka 15, pwede yung i-simplify. GCF is 5. So, 5 will become 1. And then, 15 will become 3. So, yung 6/15, kamukha ng kanina, that is 2, tsaka 5. GCF is 3. Now, multiplying the remaining factors. So, 1/3 times 2/5, or 2/5. So, the probability of getting an orange ball, then violet ball, is 2/15. So, 1 times 2, 2, 3 times 5, 15. So, for letter C, what is the probability that two balls drawn are not pink? Okay. So, dito, meron siyang restriction. Kailangan daw yung bola na mabunot ay hindi pink. So, ano yung probability nun? So, iaalis natin yung option dito na pink. So, i-cross out natin yung 4. So, meron lang po tayo ditong 6 violet balls tsaka 5 orange balls. Yun lang ang pwede nating kunin. Okay, so 6 plus 5, that is 11. So, kada bunot natin, meron tayong 11. So, 11/15 times 11/15. So, multiply lang po natin yan since hindi naman natin pwede i-simplify yung 11 tsaka 15 kasi wala namang common factor aside from 1. So, 11 times 11, that is 121. 15 times 15, that is 225. So, the probability that two balls drawn are not pink is equal to 121/225. So, for letter D naman, find the probability that the two balls drawn are of the same color. Okay. So, dito, kailangan lang natin kunin yung probability na dalawang violet balls ang mabunot, dalawang orange balls yung mabunot, tsaka dalawang pink balls yung mabunot. Tsaka natin i-add yung kanilang probability. So, sulat natin probability na violet plus probability na orange, And then plus the probability na pink and then pink. So, dun muna tayo sa violet. So, 6 over 15 times 6 over 15 plus, dun sa orange naman, 5 over 15 times 5 over 15. And then dun sa pink naman, 4 over 15 times 4 over 15. So, dito tayo sa violet. So, 6 times 6, that is 36. Over 15 times 15, that is 225. Plus, dito naman sa orange. So, 5 times 5, that is 25. Over 225. Plus, dito naman sa pink, 16 over 225. So, 36 plus 25, that is 61. Plus 16, that will give us a sum of 77 all over 225. So, ito po yung probability that the two balls drawn are of the same color. So, kailangan po kasi natin silang i-add. Okay, so of the same color, so tatlo po yung kulay ng mga bola na nasa loob ng jar. So, kailangan nating i-add yun. So, halimbawa, 5 yung kulay na yun. So, 5 probabilities po ang ating ipag-add. Now, so, ang independent events, mas madali siya as compared to dependent events. So, kung anong dependent events, ito siya. So, two events are said to be dependent if the first event affects the probability of the second event. So, kung kanina, independent events, hindi nakaka-apekto yung first event dun sa probability ng second event. Dito naman, affected po. Okay. So, if the two events, or if two events, A and B, are dependent, then probability of both events occurring is the product of the probability of A and the probability of B after A occurs. Okay, so, ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan, so, halimbawa, yung ano kanina, yung jar, di ba? So, kung yung unang bola na binunot natin, hindi na natin siya isinoli, so, yung 15 na bola na yun, magiging 40 na lang. So, it means makaka-apekto yung probability nung second event dun sa result ng first event. So, kasi 15, tas binawasan natin, nagiging 14. And then, halimbawa, bumunot ka na naman ng isa, magiging 30 na lang. As long as yung mga objects o yung mga bagay na binunot natin, hindi na natin isinole, itinabi na natin. Like for example, kung pagkain, bumunot tayo ng candy, kinain na natin. 'Di ba? Kapag kinain na natin yun, hindi na natin yun isusoli sa lagayan kasi kinain na natin. Okay, so kaya makaka-affect yun dun sa probability. Unlike kung independent. So let us have problem number 1. A fruit basket contains 7 apples, 4 bananas, 6 guavas, and 3 oranges. Teddy randomly chooses one piece of fruit, eats it, and chooses another one. Find the probability of the following events. Okay, meron tayong fruit baskets dito. Ang laman ng ating fruit baskets ay 4 na prutas, 7 apple, 4 na bananas, 6 guavas, and 3 oranges. And then, si Teddy, namimili siya ng prutas na kakainin, randomly. Okay, hindi naman nauuna lahat yung apples, tapos lahat ng bananas, randomly. Alternate. So, kung ano man yung magustuhan niya, and then kada napipili niya daw, it's it. Ibig sabihin, kada pinipili niya, kinakain niya. Okay. And then, after niya makapili ng isa, pipili ulit siya ng isa. Okay. So, paano siya naging dependent events? Si Teddy, pinili niya yung prutas na yon, yung unang prutas, and then kinain niya. Siyempre, kinain niya, mauubos yun. Kaya nga, pipili pa siya ng panibagong prutas. Hindi naman ibig sabihin yung kinain niya, ibabalik niya dun sa mismong basket natural, kinain niya na, nasa loob na ng katawan niya. Hindi niya na maisosoli pa. So, find the probability of the following events. Probability of choosing apple, then another apple. Okay. So, dun tayo sa apple. So, 7 over yung total na fruits dun sa basket na yon. So, paano natin malalaman yon? Siyempre, add lang natin 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 3. This will give us 20. So, 20 po yung total na fruits na nasa loob ng fruit basket. Kaya, 7 over 20 po. Next, after mamili ng apple ang kinain niya, and then another apple na naman, so magiging ganito po siya. 6 over 19. Sir, bakit po naging 6 tapos 19? Again, yung napili niya, kinain niya. So, 7 apples, nakain niya na yung isa, magiging 6 na lang. And then, bakit naging 19? Natural, yung kinain niya na yon, mababawas na yon sa kabuuan ng prutas na nasa loob ng basket na yon. Kaya, 6 over 19. Now, pwede tayong mag-cross multiply dito. So, 7 tsaka 19, wala naman silang common GCF kundi 1. So, in 6 tsaka 20, meron sila, which is 2. So, 6 divided by 2, this will become 3. And then 20 will become 10. Now, multiplying the remaining factors, so 7 over 10 times 3 over 19. So, 7 times 3 is 21. 10 times 19 is 190. So, we can no longer simplify 21 over 90. So, wala na po kasi silang ibang common factor aside from 1. So, the probability of choosing an apple then another apple is 21 over 190. Ayan. So, another, letter B. Banana then orange. Okay, so banana naman, that is 4 over 20 times orange naman. Okay, so ang banana at orange magkaiba na yan. So ibig sabihin, kung orange ang pinili natin sa pangalawa, so hindi yun makakaapekto sa bilang ng banana. Okay, so ang orange ay 3. Okay, so ang makakaapekto lang po dito is yung total number of fruits dun sa basket kasi nga kinain niya na yung una niyang pinili. After nun, pipili ulit siya. So that will become 19. Okay, so yung sa denominator lang ang babawasan and then yung sa numerator, nakadepende po yan. Banana is different from orange. Okay, so baka nakita nyo 4 tapos naging 3. So, nagkataon lang po yun. So, again, magkaiba po ang banana and then orange. So, simplify natin yan. So, 4 tsaka 20, pwede yan. So, GCF is 4. So, 4 divided by 4, 1. 20 by 4, that is 5. Next, multiplying the remaining factors. So, 1 times 3 is 3. Over 5 times 19, that is 95. So, the probability of choosing banana, then orange, is 3 over 95. So, we have letter C. So, probability of choosing guava and then not banana. Okay, so, una muna dun sa probability na guava ang piliin. So, that is 6 over 20. Okay na siya. And then, on the second one, not banana. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po kasama yung banana sa option ni Teddy. So, cross out natin yung banana dito, yung 4 bananas. And then, ang kailangan lang natin dito, pwede natin pilihan 7 apples, 6 guavas, and then 3 oranges. Kaya lang, yung unang kinain or pinili ni Teddy is guava. So, ibig sabihin, kapag pinili niya na yon, mababawasan na yung number ng guavas. So, 6 magiging 5 na lang. Now, i-add natin yung mga pwede nating piliin. 7 plus 5 plus 3, that is 15 fruits. So, ibig sabihin, 15 fruits ang kanyang pwedeng piliin. Sa second one. Okay, so 15 over 19. 19, it's because guwaba na yung pinili niya ng una. Kinain niya na yon. So, hindi niya na pwedeng ibalik pa. Now, simplify natin yan. So, 6 tsaka 20. So, 6 magiging 3. And then 20 magiging 10. And then, yung 10 tsaka 15, pwede pa rin naman natin yung i-simplify. GCF nila is 5. So, 10 magiging 2. And then, 15 magiging 3. So, multiply natin yung mga natira. So, 3 over 2 times 3 over 19. So, 3 times 3 is 9 over 2 times 19, 38. So, the probability is 9 over 38. Letter D. Probability of selecting orange, then apple, then another orange. So, dito tatlong fruits na yung kanyang kakainin. Okay, so, orange. We have there 3 over 20 times yung apple, 7 over 90 na lang. Okay. So, ayan, ang orange tsaka apple, magkaiba. So, kaya kung mapapansin nyo, 3 over 20 sa nauna, 3, ginamit natin, and then 7 sa pangalawa. Hindi pwedeng maging 2 yung apple. It's because orange and apple are different. And then, on the third one, another orange na naman, yung kanyang kakainin. So, nakain niya na yung isang orange dun sa una, pinili niya na. So, therefore, yung 3, magiging 2 na lang. Okay, so dito pa lang po yung 2. And then, dalawang prutas na yung nakakain niya, so hindi na 19. Bawas ulit ng isa, 18. Okay, now, ano ang gagawin natin? So, magka-cross multiply pa rin tayo. So, 3 tsaka 18. Ayan, GCF is 3. So, 3 will become 1. And then, 18 will become 6. So, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Next, 20 tsaka 2. So, ang 2 magiging 1 na lang. So, 2 divided by 2, 1. 20 will become 10. So, yung mga natira natin, so 1 over 10 times 7 over 19 times 1 over 6. So, wala na tayong may simplify pa dyan. So, multiply na lang natin yung mga natira. 1 times 7 times 1, that is 7. 10 times 19 is 190. Times 6, 1,140. So, this will be our final answer. 7 over 1,140. So, for problem number 2, in a standard deck, 2 cards are drawn at random without replacement. Find the probability of the following events. So, nababasa natin dyan clearly yung without replacement. Ibig sabihin yan, we are referring to probability of dependent events. Kapag nagbunot na tayo ng card, yung nabunot natin na yon, hindi na natin isasauli pa. Hindi na siya pwedeng bunuton ulit. So, let's have letter A, probability of getting a jack on the first draw and then queen on the second. So, kung papakita natin yung formula ng dependent events, so, diba, ganito siya. Probability of A and B is equal to probability of A times probability of B following A. Para lang mas makita natin talaga siya. gamit yung kanyang notation. Yung probability na A natin dito is yung jack. Ayan. So, that is 4 over 52. So, 4 po ang jack na meron sa isang standard deck. Jack of hearts, jack of diamonds, jack of spade, jack of clubs. Next, probability of queen naman. So, that is 4 over 51. Okay, so B following A is because mababawasan na po ang laman ng deck. Nakabunot na tayo halimbawa ng jack of hearts. Jack of hearts, itatabi natin siya. So, and then, from 52, magiging 51 na lang. Pero, yung queen, 4 pa rin. It's because ang jack tsaka queen ay magkaiba naman po. So, simplify natin. 4 tsaka 52, divisible yan by 4. GCF nila is 4. So, 4 will become 1, and then 52 will become 13. So, that is 1 over 13 times 4 over 51. So, yung sagot natin dito is 4 over 663. So, ito po yung probability of getting a jack and then queen. Next, probability of getting 2 kings. So, 2 kings yan. So, probability of A and B. So, ayan. Pakita na natin para mas understood siya. So, probability of A times probability of B following A. Ayan. So, pareho naman silang kings. So, ibig sabihin, both numerators and denominators ay mababawasan ngayon. So, sa una muna, we have 4 over 52. And then, on the second row, so since parehong kings nga yan, so, on the second row, magiging 3 over 51 na po yan. Ayan. So, mababawasan yung number of kings. So, 4, naging 3. Then, from 52, total, magiging 51 na lang. So, simplify natin. 4 will become 1. 52 will become 13. The GCF is 4. Then, dito naman, 3 tsaka 51, divisible sila pareho sa 3. So, 3 will become 1. And then, 51 will become 17. So, multiplying the remaining factors. So, 1 over 13 times 1 over 17. So, 13 times 17 is equal to 221. So, our answer will be 1 over 221. So, ganyan po kaliit ang probability that 2 kings will be drawn without replacement. So, for our next video lesson, we'll now move on to solving word problems involving conditional probability. So, yan na po yung ating last video lesson for this quarter, solving problems involving conditional probability. So, kung ano po yung conditional probability na yan, so you will learn on the next video lesson. So, that's all. Thank you.